Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be doing a video that is kind of weird for my channel, but it's going to be a money saving tips video. On all of my boob vlogs, I got questions from so many of you asking how I saved my money, since you know that I paid for the surgery 100% myself, which I was very proud of because I think it's so cool when people are like, oh, daddy bought you a new set of boobs. I'll be like, no, I bought them myself, thank you very much. My parents did not contribute a dime, no one contributed a dime, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, join Opinion Outpost, because I personally have never used it, but I'm just going to be sharing with you my money saving tips and how I saved money for my boob job. So this is not just a boob job money saving tips video. If you want to save money for a car or a vacation or a bag or a house eventually, or just starting to save money in general, here is my tips for how I did it. So the first thing I just want to say is when I started saving my money seriously, I decided that I was going to go to the bank and make taking out money as difficult as it could be for myself, because I had started saving a couple of months before November, and I just had a little envelope that I would put money in, but whenever I was going out and I needed just cash, or if a pizza came and I needed cash, I would just take from that. So I was never really saving any money. By November 2014, I had saved like $300. I really was not making any great strides or anything with saving money. For those of you who haven't seen my boob job videos or whatever, my surgery did cost $8,000, so it was a big chunk of change, and I saved that money from November 2014 until April 2015, that's when I got my surgery. First thing I did when I was getting serious about saving money is I went to the bank and I asked the teller and I said, look, I'm going to be saving money for a boob job, and I was just honest. I was like, if I have access to money, I will spend it, and I want to open a savings account where it will be very difficult for me to go in and take out money, because if I can't just, transfer money on my phone from checkings to savings or checkings to credit card or whatever, I won't be able to do it. So basically what they did for me was open me a savings account. I could put money in as many times as I wanted, but I could only take out money once a month for free, and in order to take out money, I had to go to the bank physically. I couldn't do it over the phone, I couldn't do it on the app, I had to physically go into the bank to do it. That kind of deterred me a lot from going in and taking out money, because it was kind of a little bit of a hassle, and I had the mentality that once it was in savings, and I wasn't going to touch it. That was the first step for me, so I wouldn't be able to just go in and take out money whenever I wanted. I actually had to go to the bank and take out money, and I wasn't able to, if I needed some money, transfer from my savings to wherever. The second thing I did was whenever I got a paycheck, I would separate it into 3 parts. I take the majority, like 75% I would say, and put it into the savings, and then I would take the remaining, how much is that? Oh god, I'm bad at math. So then I would have 25% remaining, and I would put let's say 15% into my checkings, and then the remaining I would put into, or pay my credit card bill if I had a credit card bill. If I didn't have a credit card bill, then the remaining 25% went into my checking. That served as my spending money for whatever I wanted to spend it on, whether it was gas, food, makeup, clothes, whatever. That was the remaining of my spending money. But I just want to say that 75% went into savings, and then the remaining 25% was either split between checkings, which was my spending money, or credit card bill. So if I had a credit card bill that month, I would put money towards the credit card bill, but I do need money to survive, so I would put most into my checkings. The third tip I have is that I budgeted. I have never been a budgeter. If you've watched me from when I was younger, I really did not have that much of a grasp on money. I would spend money like no tomorrow. I would spend it on whatever I wanted. I would buy so much makeup and so much stuff that I didn't need. So I really learned how to budget, and I think that having a certain amount of money in my checkings, yes, it added up over time when I was adding more and more in, but having the most of my money in my savings and then not being able to spend it really taught me how to budget my money. So if I knew I was going to the movies, or if I knew I wanted to go for dinner or buy something, I had to say, okay, you know what, I can do this, but I can't do that. So just budgeting, just cutting out unnecessary things. I stopped going to Starbucks. I mean, I didn't really buy that much. Most of my money was spent on food and gas. That's pretty much what I spent the bulk of my spending money on, but because my friends love to go out to eat and go to the movies and stuff, so I wasn't buying that much per se, but I was spending more time with my friends, or getting a pedicure, or just doing stuff like that. But definitely budgeting and cutting out unnecessary purchases definitely helped me save money and also taught me a lot, so it was kind of a blessing in disguise. Overall, there's no magic formula. You just have to work hard and spend less, and that's pretty much, you know, I think the basic idea of saving money. You just have to not spend as much and spend money on what is really important to you. I like to be more careful with my money. I like spending less.